My name's Gabe, and I am the Taproom manager at Copper Kettle. A little over 5 years. I started in February of 2021, just as we were opening up from COVID. Still had the tent and everything outside, and it was an interesting time. At the time, I was the assistant manager at Dry Dock, and had gone through the whole COVID situation. I've been in craft beer for like 28 years. So Dry Dock just happened to be the last place I was before this, but at Dry Dock I was the assistant manager, so basically had everything delegated to me. So I mean, I did, handled everything in both tap rooms in some capacity. I saw an ad that these guys were looking for a taproom manager, and I was like, I'd like to run my own place rather than being the number two. So assistant manager isn't like an off ramp for anyone. You either springboard to the next spot or you realize it's not for you and you jump back down. So I wanted to keep going. So here I am. When I was invited to join this team by Kristen and Jeremy, they basically said they wanted someone to run the front of the house so that they didn't have to worry about it. Jeremy's got other projects going on. Kristen's got her own career going on, and they're both very passionate about Copper Kettle, obviously. But they wanted someone that could run this room, and they could be confident that it was being run the right way. They basically gave me the keys, and they were like, "You're driving," and I have to give them so much credit for that, because I haven't had like the manager over my shoulder, and the micromanaging and stuff like that you'd get in a lot of places. And I understand why those things happen, but these guys entrusted me with not only this tap room, but this community. And one of the first things
And we love you, Gabe!
Love you too, Rick. Be good, buddy. One of the first things I noticed, was this community, the Mug Club specifically, but it goes beyond the Mug Club. There's so many people that come in that I know day to day, every day. I know almost everyone that comes in here, and there's a lot of people that never made the Mug Club, and that's something that's kind of hard for me to swallow. And knowing that we have an expiration date now, I literally looked in the back and I was like, how many more mugs do we have? And we expanded beyond 50 just because why not? Like, there's so many people that deserve to be a part of this community. But for me, it's been interesting because almost 30 years in beer, obviously the places I've worked at, it's not uncommon for a bar or a brewery or a restaurant to have a loyalty program or a mug club or a membership or something like that. And so I've been a part of that for a long time. But with that, there was a lot of entitlement, and with a lot of other loyalty programs that I've been involved with, there's been a lot of entitlement. And that's not to say that I didn't make great connections with a lot of people through those. This one's different. It really is. And I'm like, it's not entitlement here, it's ownership. These people care about this place. And that was the first thing that really grabbed me, is I realized very early on that I can't drop the ball. They're gonna let me know. If I fuck up, I'm gonna hear about it, And but in a good way, it's in the most genuine and caring way. These people here, yourself included, everyone takes ownership, and everyone takes care of each other. If something's going on in this tap room and I'm not here, I still know about it. Someone's going to tell me, and there's good and bad with that, obviously, but nonetheless, coming into a place where I knew that everyone cared that much was a double-edged sword, in that I know everything's cool because it's the right people, but it's also a lot of pressure to maintain that and to integrate myself into that in the right way and keep it going in the way that it needed to go. You know, playing music is one of the absolute joys of my life, and I've been doing that longer than, I mean, with the exception of being alive, that's the thing I've done the longest. I've played guitar for almost 40 years now, so yeah, I love playing music. I play with a lot of different bands. I play with as many as I can. I like to get outside of my comfort zone and see what I can do. But as far as how that relates to here, I've literally found people coming to gigs of mine, and I don't know if it's because they like the music. I don't know if it's because they're just trying to be supportive of me, but somewhere in there, it's incredibly moving to me to see someone from here at one of my shows. It's because it's so far out of both of our element, you know? When you know someone from being the bartender, that's how you know them. You don't think about the rest of what they do, you know what I mean? To you, they're just the bartender. So for people to, and that's been my experience for literally almost 30 years, is like, you know, I'll be sitting at the bar and someone will be like, oh, you're supposed to be on the other side of it. And it's like, dude, I'm allowed to have a day off, man, and maybe I want to have a beer, right? But this community doesn't look at it that way. They're like, oh, Gabe's got a show, let's see if we can get some people over there. Like, I've played at Public Offering and seen like literally 20 people from the Mug Club at that show because I was playing. And it means so much to me that happens. And, you know, I hope they have a good time. I hope the music's all right. But it's amazing to see that kind of support. But that's what this community is. And, you know, like, if someone's moving, there's someone in the Mug Club that's going to help you move. If someone's car breaks down, there's someone in the Mug Club that's going to help you get it running again. You know, if someone's got anything going on, there's someone in the Mug Club that's going to be there and support you. And that's what this community is. So it's not just, you know, my music or not doesn't necessarily matter. That's something I was doing and people went to support it. And that's what this community does. They support each other. I'll say actually two things. One thing that was a great memory for me was when it was me, Greg, and Anna as the three like main managers here. And every Friday we would call it Big Friday Energy. And the three of us would just have a few beer shots and just kind of brainstorm about stupid shit and try to like figure out what kind of events and stuff we could do. And we came up with like, we were going to do a spelling bee. That never came to anything. But we ended up doing adult show and tell. Do you remember that at all? That was definitely memorable because it was really, it was like almost cringy. You know what I mean? Like it was just awkward enough, but it was fun. And I remember Lisa Wallner brought in this bead that she had found when she was scuba diving, and there's a whole story behind that, but it was like amazing. And Mike Pare brought in volcanic ash from like Greenland or something, or Iceland, and G brought in a slide of a human brain. Like, you know what I mean? Like people brought in all this crazy shit, and I was like, this is awesome, you know? But that was another thing that solidified for me that this community, like, they're willing to get weird and they're willing to just hang and be who they are, you know? So, and that's another thing I love about this community is like, no one's putting on airs for each other. No one's like trying to be like we can be a bunch of nerds. We can be as weird as we want, and everyone embraces that, you know? And I think that's what makes an awesome community, so. I drink Pilsner almost exclusively. If I want something a little more, I usually drink like Morale Boost. Sober Mesa is incredible. Snowed Inn's obviously fucking wonderful. So, but generally I'm a German beer guy. So I like Helles, but I like something with a little more bite. So I'm a Pilsner guy. Nonetheless, I don't know. This community's been incredibly inspiring, humbling. Just the fact that I get to be a part of this every day is awesome. It makes it easy to go to work. It keeps me on my toes so that I have to actually have some work ethic. And and make sure things are running the right way. I feel an obligation to this community, being the guy that kind of runs this room, both to the Mug Club, to the regulars that aren't even Mug Club, also to our staff. I think the absolute world of all of the bartenders that have come through here. Currently Jess, Ari, and Matt. I'm worried about those guys. I really hope that they find what they need to, carry on and do what they need to do. And they're amazing people, and that's something that I think this whole community really embodies for me. Is just it's just good people. So anyway, I don't know. We've got just under 2 months left, and I say let's fucking party. So cheers.